now is I'm going to show you how to do the stick of butter, the piece of bacon, and then the fried egg, okay? And I'll show you in 3-dimension, and you do the same thing for all the feathers. It's the same tactic that we used to draw this side of the wing with the feathers, okay? Once we're done drawing these 3 other things, and you can draw whatever you want. If you want to do a bottle of syrup, if you want to do a piece of toast, totally up to you. Okay, so we are going to do this fried egg. It's just wavy lines. If you want to start with a basic shape, just start with a circle, okay? And then you can modify and make it wavy. Okay, some of the wavy lines are going to be wider or bigger than others. And then you can, if you want to just, or you'll want to for sure, erase that circle on the inside, okay? Okay, and all I do to make my, the outside part of my fried egg a little 3-dimensional is I mimic starting on just one side, that line. It's very thin, and I do it on the bottom and then on one side, okay? And I'll show that to you closer up so you can see what I'm doing better. La la la. Okay, so now do a circle in the center for that yolk, and we'll come back to that yolk. We'll talk about shading it to make it look like it's coming up, that it's 3-dimensional. Alrighty then, let's do our bacon. Yes. Okay, the bacon, if you want to start out with a basic shape, it's just a long rectangle, but I'm going to do mine with the wavy lines on the side. I'm going to do 2 angled straight lines on the top. I leave a space, and then on the bottom, and then I'm going to connect with a soft wave line, okay? And then I do that same wave line on the other side. Connect, just like that. Ta-da! Ta-da! So now we want to make this look like it has width, some 3-dimension. I do an angled straight line, very short on that top corner, on the bottom corner, and then on the other bottom corner. I'm going to show that close up. Okay? And then we're going to connect the bottom of those 3 little short angled lines together. So let's do that. Let's connect this line with this line, and then the bottom here. Okay, so now, yeah, now we have our piece of bacon. Now remember, pieces of bacon, they have usually like a stripe or 2 on the inside. So I do those same wavy lines, and I make a stripe, okay? Hi, Max. Hi. Hi. I don't know if I can, like, show here. Oh, there he is. Nice. Okay. You're getting a show this morning. Yeah. Okay. All right. So one more thing. We're going to do a cube of butter. So let's get started on that. Very exciting. We're going to want to draw a rectangle just like this, okay? Just a fairly long rectangle, but not as long as the bacon, right?
Not too long.
Well, yeah, probably, probably. I mean, there are sticks of butter that are that long.
Wait, what?
So now we're going to do the same thing that we did for the bacon. We're going to do a vertical line down from 3 corners. 1, 2, 3. I'll show that up closer. Okay, there we go. There's the butter. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to connect the bottom of those lines with a parallel line from that top line of the butter. 1 and 2. Now with the butter, I like to round the corners when I start to modify. So I'm going to show you, we have all 4 of our objects without the wings. I do want you, since they're all flying in the sky, which I know is totally bizarre, but you know, let's have some fun today, right, people?
Yeah.
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 Woohoo! We're making things fly. So anyway, I want to go ahead and do a little shading now. So you can see that I curved these corners to make it look, make my butter, my stick of butter, my flying stick of butter a little more realistic. So with the shading, we need to remember that we can just, wherever the light's coming from, and it'll be coming from the same direction. I usually take my pencil. So if this is light, I'm going to keep it in the same direction. When it hits my butter, the lightest part is going to be here, okay? And then also on the top, and we're going to go ahead and shade. So the lightest part's going to be on this side. I have my light coming from that direction. It's going to be the same for everything, okay? So when we shade, we press down on the darkest parts where the shadows are. I put a lot of pressure on my hand, and then when I start to draw closer to where the lightest part is, I gently release that pressure. Now this is a stick of butter, so I kind of went a little too dark, but that's okay. So we do the same on either side, right? Gently release that pressure. And then I use my finger to blend. That's how I do it. Okay? And you can see, bam, that I have some nice shading here. Okay? If you want a lighter part, like a nice highlight, take your eraser. Get that highlight in there, okay? I just erased a little bit off that center there. So that's where the light's hitting it. With the wings, now you're gonna do the same sort of technique for shading for all of your objects. For the wings now, we have layers of feathers. So the top layer is going to create a shadow on the bottom layer. So I'm gonna darken up the bottom part of my feathers. Okay, I darken up the bottom feathers, the very bottom feathers too. And remember, we want to round things up, okay? Because our feathers aren't super pointy. So make sure to do a little rounding, remember, because we used really simple lines to start out with. And then you're going to darken up the bottom points of each feather, okay? Just like this. Let me see how you're doing here. Okay. I love that butter. It's flying off the little drips of. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and I won't keep doing it because then you're just gonna be watching me do this for a long period of time, and I don't think you need to see that. So we have those nice shadows in. So remember, the light's coming from this direction. So on the top of our wing, right here, this is going to be the lightest point. I'll show that up closer. Okay, I darkened the bottom of those feathers. This part is going to be the lightest. So if you want to do some slight shading where you press down, I wouldn't do it super hard for the wing because most of the time wings are white, right? Or at least mine are. You can do whatever color. In fact, if you want to color this in, you go for it. And you'll shade, and keep this the lightest part. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and show you. I'm kind of gently pressing down right now, but then I'm gonna lift up some of that pressure as I get closer to that highlight. All right, and then I'm blending. I'm going to take my eraser and make a better highlight. I think that's going to work better. Okay. If I softly, in the feathers that are pointing down, if I color those in really gently, okay, in each feather and then blend, I can then take my eraser and make highlights in each feather. I'll hold this closer up in a second after I get this done. My eraser is kind of thick. There we go. It's not working exactly how I want it, but that's okay. I'm just redrawing the sides of the feathers because I accidentally erased some of it out. Okay, so I've got a little bit of shading going on. There we go. Okay, so I think you have the gist of it. I want to see how creative you can get. I mean, this is pretty awesome, what we already have. Hi, Max. bricks again. But if you want to add more objects, more like a bowl of cereal, anything breakfasty that you can think of, that would rock. All right, 5th and 6th graders, please email these when you can. I would love, love, love to see your projects. Have a great day. Bye.